First contact. The stars had always seemed peaceful from Earth. For centuries, humans gazed up at the night sky, wondering if they were alone. The answer came on a Tuesday morning in 2157, when massive ships appeared over every major city on the planet. Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Orbital Defense Station, watching the alien fleet through the main viewer. The ships were beautiful in a terrible way, sleek, silver, and utterly silent as they hung in space like deadly ornaments. "Sir, we're getting a transmission," reported Lieutenant Amy Bell, her fingers dancing across the communications panel. The screen flickered, and an alien face appeared. The creature was tall with blue-gray skin and large black eyes that held no warmth. When it spoke, the universal translator made its voice sound cold and mechanical. "Humans of Earth. I am Commander Vex of the Galactic Union. Your world has been selected for integration into our empire. You will surrender all military assets and submit to our authority. Resistance is pointless." Admiral Morrison stepped forward, his jaw set firm. He had fought in 3 wars and never backed down from a fight. "This is Admiral Morrison of Earth Defense. We reject your demands. This is our world, and we will defend it." The alien's expression did not change. "Your primitive weapons cannot harm our vessels. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. Your species is young and weak. Submit now, and we will allow some of you to live as workers." "Let me show you something about humans," Morrison replied. He nodded to his weapons officer. "Fire!" The defense station's main cannon roared to life. A beam of pure energy lanced out, striking the nearest alien ship. The vessel's shields flared bright blue, then held. The alien ship did not even shake. "Commander," Vex almost seemed to smile. "Your weapons are as weak as expected. We will begin landing operations in 1 hour. Do not interfere, or we will destroy your cities." The transmission ended. The bridge fell silent except for the hum of computers and the distant rumble of the station's engines. "Sir," Lieutenant Bell said quietly, "our weapons barely scratch their shields. Intelligence reports their ships are made of materials we've never seen. Their technology is at least 500 years ahead of ours." Morrison walked to the main viewer, staring out at the alien fleet. Other officers watched him, waiting for orders. Some looked scared, others looked angry. All of them looked ready to fight. "Maybe their ships are better," Morrison said slowly. "Maybe their weapons are stronger. Maybe they've conquered 1,000 worlds." He turned to face his crew. "But they don't know humans. They don't know what we're capable of when our backs are against the wall." He moved to the tactical display, where red dots showed alien landing craft descending toward Earth's surface. "They think this will be like their other conquests. They expect us to break and run when we see their superior technology." "Sir, what are your orders?" asked Major Tom Price, the station's tactical officer. Morrison studied the display. The aliens were landing in major population centers, just as military doctrine would suggest. It was logical, efficient, and exactly what any civilized species would do. "They're thinking like a military," Morrison said. "Clean, organized, by the book. But humans don't fight clean when we're fighting for our homes." He activated the station's communication system, broadcasting to every military unit on Earth and in space. "All units, this is Admiral Morrison. The enemy has superior technology, but they don't understand human nature. We're not going to meet them ship to ship or army to army. We're going to show them what humans do best. We adapt, we improvise, and we survive." On the surface, the first alien troops were stepping out of their landing craft in downtown New York. They wore powered armor and carried energy weapons that could melt through concrete. Citizens ran screaming through the streets. But in the shadows, something else was happening. Police officers were talking to gang leaders. Military veterans were opening old weapon caches. Hunters were cleaning their rifles. Factory workers were looking at their equipment with new eyes. The aliens had made one crucial mistake. They had studied human military capabilities, but they had never studied human desperation. They knew about Earth's armies, but they knew nothing about its people. Commander Vex stood on the bridge of his flagship watching the tactical display as his forces secured landing zones across the planet. Everything was proceeding according to plan. The humans were running and hiding just like every other primitive species. "Commander," reported his tactical officer, "we're detecting some small-scale resistance in several cities. Nothing our forces cannot handle." "Excellent," Vex replied. "Begin Phase 2. Establish control over their government centers and communication networks. This world will be fully integrated within the week. But down on Earth, in basements and back alleys, in factories and farms, humans were preparing to teach the galaxy a very different lesson about warfare." The Human Way of War 3, days after Do. The invasion began. Commander Vex was confused. His tactical reports made no sense. The humans were not fighting like any species he had encountered before. "Explain this to me again," Vex demanded, staring at the holographic display showing Earth's surface. Red markers indicated areas where his forces had taken casualties. Captain Rex, his intelligence officer, looked uncomfortable. "Sir, the humans are not using conventional military tactics. They strike our patrols and then disappear. They use improvised weapons made from civilian materials. They coordinate attacks using primitive communication methods that our sensors cannot easily track." "Primitive methods?" "Children on bicycles carrying messages, sir. Graffiti on walls that appears to be coded instructions. They even use trained birds to deliver information." Vex's mandibles clicked in annoyance. "Birds? They are using animals for military communications?" "Yes, sir. And their weapon systems." Rex paused, checking his datapad. "Yesterday, a group of humans destroyed one of our hover tanks using a device made from fertilizer, fuel, and scrap metal. The day before, they collapsed a tunnel under our supply convoy using mining equipment." In New York, former Police Sergeant Mike Davis crouched in the ruins of a subway station, watching an alien patrol march down the street above. His team consisted of a construction worker named Bill, a chemistry teacher called Lisa, and a teenager named Alex who knew every back alley in the city. "Remember," Mike whispered, "we hit fast and disappear. Don't try to fight their armor head-on. We target their sensors and communications. The aliens wore powered suits that could stop bullets, and energy weapons that could cut through steel." But Lisa had discovered something interesting about their technology. It was designed to fight other advanced civilizations, not desperate humans with nothing to lose. "Their suits have cooling systems," she had explained earlier. "If we can clog those vents with the right mixture, the armor overheats, and their helmets depend on electronic systems for vision in our atmosphere." Alex had found another weakness. "Their boots don't grip well on ice or oil, and they move in formation because their suits are networked. Jam the network, and they lose coordination." The patrol was directly overhead now. Mike gave the signal. Bill triggered a small explosion that shattered the street surface. The aliens stumbled as chunks of concrete fell around them. Lisa threw homemade gas grenades that filled their air intakes with thick smoke. Alex used a modified radio to broadcast static on their communication frequency. For 30 seconds, chaos reigned. The aliens fired blindly into the smoke. Their formation broke apart as their suits malfunctioned. Then Mike's team was gone, vanishing into the subway tunnels like ghosts. On the alien flagship, Vex received another report. "Sir, we have lost contact with Patrol 7 in Sector 12. Last transmission indicated they were under attack by an unknown number of humans." "How many humans?" Vex asked. The patrol leader estimated at least 50, based on the intensity of fire. Vex nodded. That made sense. It would take many humans to threaten a fully equipped patrol, but in the subway tunnel, Mike was briefing his team of 4 on their next target. Across the globe, similar scenes played out. In London, a group of engineers had figured out how to hack alien drones and turn them against their own forces. In Upper Tokyo, martial arts masters were teaching soldiers how to fight in powered armor using techniques that no alien had ever seen. In Moscow, a former ballet dancer named Anna was leading sniper teams that moved through the city like deadly shadows. The aliens had expected human resistance to break within days. Instead, it was growing stronger. Every destroyed patrol taught the humans something new about alien technology. Every failed attack showed them a different way to strike. Major General Kate Wilson stood in a hidden command bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, coordinating resistance efforts worldwide. The main screen showed a map of Earth dotted with thousands of small red lights, each representing a human resistance cell. "Ma'am," reported Colonel Frank Stone, "we're getting reports from all continents. The enemy is starting to change their tactics. They're pulling back from isolated areas and concentrating their forces in major cities." "Good," Wilson replied. "That means we're hurting them. They came here expecting a quick victory against a primitive enemy. Instead, they're facing something they've never encountered before." "What's that, ma'am?" Wilson smiled grimly. "Humans who refuse to quit. Every species they've conquered before probably had military forces that could be defeated and governments that could surrender. But humans don't work that way. We don't have a single point of failure." She gestured to the map. "Every one of those lights represents people who decided to fight back using whatever they had available. The aliens might have better weapons, but we have something they don't understand: the will to adapt and keep fighting no matter what." Outside, alien ships patrolled the skies, searching for targets. But down in the tunnels, in the forests, in the ruins of cities, humans were learning to be something the galaxy had never seen before. Learning to win 2 weeks into the invasion, something unexpected happened. The humans stopped running. Commander Vex stood before the Galactic Council's holographic projectors, trying to explain why Earth had not fallen. The council members, representatives from dozens of conquered worlds, listened with growing concern. "The human resistance has evolved beyond our projections," Vex reported. "They are no longer using desperate tactics. They have developed systematic methods of warfare that exploit weaknesses in our technology we did not know existed." Council leader Drac leaned forward, his scaled face showing irritation. "Explain how primitives with chemical weapons can threaten the Galactic Union's finest forces." "They learn, sir, faster than any species we have encountered. Each engagement teaches them something new about our equipment, our tactics, our limitations. On Earth, that learning was happening in ways the aliens could never have imagined." In a hidden facility beneath the ruins of MIT, Dr. Robert Hayes was reverse engineering captured alien technology with a team of scientists, mechanics, and hackers. "Their power cells use a crystalline matrix," he explained to his team. "But the frequency modulation is unstable in Earth's magnetic field. If we can amplify that instability, we can overload their systems," finished Maria Santos, a former auto mechanic who had become expert at alien machinery. "I've been working on this. Look." She held up a device that looked like a cross between a car battery and a television remote. "Point this at their equipment and press the button. It broadcasts the right frequency to cause cascade failure in their power systems." Across the room, former Army Ranger Dan Miller was training civilians in advanced combat techniques. But these were not normal military tactics. They were methods designed specifically for fighting technologically superior enemies. "Their armor is strong, but it has joints," Dan explained to a group that included teachers, shop owners, and college students. "Hit the joints with these." He held up metal spikes designed to jam into the gaps between armor plates. "Their weapons are powerful, but they overheat after sustained fire. Count their shots. When they pause to cool down, that's when you move." The training was working. Reports came in daily of successful attacks on alien positions. But more importantly, the humans were starting to share their discoveries with each other. A breakthrough in Tokyo reached New York within hours. A successful tactic in London was being used in Sydney by the next day. The resistance was becoming a global network of learning and adaptation. Captain Rex brought another troubling report to Commander Vex. "Sir, we have intercepted human communications discussing something they call the manual." "What manual?" "They appear to be creating a comprehensive guide to fighting our forces. It includes technical specifications of our equipment, tactical weaknesses, successful attack patterns, and countermeasures for our weapons." Vex felt something he had never experienced in 100 conquests: doubt. How can they create such a document? They have no formal military structure, no central command. That appears to be their strength, sir. Every human fighter contributes information. Every successful attack is studied and documented. Every failure is analyzed to prevent repetition. In the Rocky Mountain bunker, General Wilson was coordinating something the galaxy had never seen, a planet-wide military evolution happening in real time. Status report, she called out. Africa is reporting 70% success rate on the new EMP devices, came one reply. South America has perfected the tunnel warfare techniques. They're sharing the blueprints now, came another. Europe is ready to begin Phase 3 operations, reported a third officer. Wilson nodded. Phase 3 was ambitious. Instead of just resisting the aliens, they were going to start capturing their technology intact. Ma'am, Colonel Stone approached with a tablet. We're getting reports that the aliens are requesting reinforcements from their homeworlds. How many? Triple their current force. Wilson smiled. Good. That means we're winning. But ma'am, if they bring in more ships, Frank, you're thinking like them. More ships mean more technology for us to capture and study. More aliens mean more opportunities to test our new tactics. She gestured to the global display. 6 months ago, we couldn't scratch their armor. Today, we're systematically dismantling their invasion force. What do you think we'll be capable of in another 6 months? On the alien flagship, Vex was asking himself the same question, but his answer was very different, and it filled him with a fear he had never known. The humans were not just fighting back anymore. They were getting better at it every day. And worse yet, they seemed to be enjoying the challenge. For the first time in galactic history, a primitive species was turning an invasion into a learning experience. The question was no longer whether Earth would fall. The question was what the humans would do once they finished learning how to fight back. The hunter becomes the hunted 6 months after the invasion began. The roles had completely reversed. The aliens were no longer hunting humans. The humans were hunting them. Commander Vex stood in his command center, staring at a tactical display that showed nothing but bad news. Red zones covered half the planet, areas where his forces could no longer operate safely. Yellow zones marked regions where they could only move in large groups with heavy support. Green zones, where they maintained control, were shrinking every day. Status report, he ordered, though he dreaded the answer. We have lost 60% of our ground forces, Captain Rex reported. Our supply lines are under constant attack. 3 of our orbital platforms have been destroyed by human-built weapons. Human-built weapons that can reach orbit? Yes, sir. They have somehow modified our own technology to create surface-to-space missiles. Yesterday, they destroyed transport, 7 using what appeared to be one of our own plasma cannons. The truth was even worse than Rex reported. The humans had not just modified alien technology, they had improved it. Dr. Hayes and his team had figured out how to make alien weapons more efficient, more powerful, and more reliable than the originals. The problem with their design, Hayes explained to a group of resistance leaders, is that they built everything to be foolproof. But that makes it inflexible. We've removed the safety limits and improved the power output by 40%. Maria Santos held up a weapon that looked like an alien rifle but was covered in human modifications. We've also made them easier to repair and maintain. The original design required specialized tools and replacement parts. Our version can be fixed with basic materials. But the real revolution was not in the weapons themselves. It was in how humans used them. Lieutenant Jim Parker crouched on a rooftop in what used to be downtown Chicago, watching an alien patrol through his scope. His team was positioned around the city block, each member armed with modified alien weapons, and communicating through a network that the aliens still could not intercept. Target acquired, he whispered into his radio. Patrol of 8, standard formation. Roger that, Jim, came the reply from his team leader. Remember, we want prisoners this time. The attack was swift and precise. The aliens never saw it coming. Within minutes, 6 were dead and 2 were captured, along with their equipment and communication devices. But this was not just a raid. It was part of a larger strategy that was spreading across the planet. The humans had learned to think several steps ahead. The captured aliens were taken to a hidden facility, where they were questioned by experts who now understood alien psychology better than the aliens understood human psychology. The captured equipment was immediately analyzed, and the information shared globally within hours. "We're not just winning battles," General Wilson explained to her staff. "We're winning the war of information. Every engagement makes us smarter, and them more predictable." The evidence was overwhelming. Human tactics had evolved from simple guerrilla warfare to sophisticated military operations that combined the best of alien technology with human creativity and adaptability. In space, the captured orbital platforms had been converted into human weapons. Teams of engineers and soldiers worked together to turn alien technology against its creators. The platforms that once threatened Earth's cities now protected them. Admiral Morrison, now commanding the converted orbital defenses, watched as another alien transport was destroyed trying to reach the surface. "That's the fourth one this week," he reported to General Wilson. "They're having trouble getting supplies through." "Good. How are the new recruits doing?" Morrison smiled. The new recruits were former alien soldiers who had surrendered rather than face certain death. Many had been shocked to discover that humans treated prisoners well, fed them properly, and even allowed them to communicate with their families on other worlds. Some had chosen to share information about alien military doctrine, technology, and weaknesses. A few had even volunteered to fight alongside humans against their former commanders. "Sir," one of his officers called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the alien flagship. Put it through." Commander Vex appeared on the screen, but he looked different. His confident demeanor was gone, replaced by something that looked almost like desperation. "Admiral Morrison," Vex began, "I wish to discuss terms." "Terms for what?" "Terms for our withdrawal from your system." Morrison exchanged glances with his officers. 6 months ago, the aliens had demanded Earth's surrender. Now they wanted to negotiate their own retreat. "I'm listening," Morrison said. "We will withdraw all forces from Earth and its orbital space. In return, you will allow our remaining ships to leave safely." Morrison was quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. "I'll need to discuss this with my superiors, but I think we might have better terms to offer you." "What kind of terms?" "The new rules of war 1. Year after the failed invasion of Earth, the galaxy was a very different place. Council leader Drax sat in the emergency session of the Galactic Union, listening to reports that would have been unthinkable just months before. The humans had not simply defeated the invasion force, they had turned it into a learning experience that changed everything. "The humans have established what they call Earth Defense Forces throughout this sector," reported intelligence. Chief Cole. "They have built a network of military stations using our own technology, but modified beyond our understanding." "Modified how?" Drac demanded. "Improved, sir. Their weapons are more powerful, their ships are faster, their defenses are stronger. They took our 1,000-year-old technology and made it better in less than 12 months. The truth was even more alarming. The humans had not just improved alien technology, they had revolutionized the entire concept of galactic warfare. Admiral Morrison stood on the bridge of the first human-built starship, the UES Freedom. It looked like no ship ever seen in the Kier galaxy, a hybrid of human engineering and alien technology that combined the best of both. "Admiral," reported Captain Lisa Chen, his new tactical officer, "we're receiving surrender requests from 3 more worlds in the Epsilon sector." Morrison nodded. Word had spread quickly through the galaxy about what happened to species that fought humans. It was not what anyone expected. The humans did not conquer worlds like the Galactic Union did. Instead, they offered something no galactic power had ever offered before: partnership. Any species willing to share technology and work together is welcome to join our alliance, Morrison had announced to the galaxy 6 months ago. Any species that prefers to fight will discover why that's a very bad idea. The response had been overwhelming. Dozens of worlds that had been enslaved by the Galactic Union declared independence and requested human protection. Others, who had been living in fear of invasion, asked to join the human alliance voluntarily. Dr. Hayes, now director of the Galactic Technology Exchange, was amazed at the results. Every species we work with brings something new, he explained to a group of visiting alien scientists. The Rigel engineers taught us about quantum computing. The Vega biologists showed us how to grow living metal. The Centauri mathematicians helped us understand dimensional physics. And in return, added Maria Santos, now head of the technical training program, we teach them human methods, how to innovate quickly, how to adapt under pressure, how to turn problems into opportunities. The combination was explosive. Human creativity and adaptability, combined with alien knowledge and technology, was producing advances that neither could achieve alone. But the real revolution was not technological, it was philosophical. General Wilson, now Supreme Commander of the Earth Alliance, stood before the First Galactic Congress of Free Worlds. Representatives from over 200 species filled the Great Hall, all of them there voluntarily. For thousands of years, she addressed the assembly, galactic civilization has been based on conquest and submission. The strong dominated the weak. Technology was hoarded by those in power. Progress was slow because innovation was discouraged. She gestured to the diverse crowd before her. Today, we offer a different model. Cooperation instead of conquest. Shared knowledge instead of hoarded secrets. Innovation instead of stagnation. The results spoke for themselves. In 1 year, the Human Alliance had made technological advances that would have taken the old Galactic Union centuries. Medical breakthroughs that eliminated diseases on dozens of worlds. Engineering marvels that improved life for billions of beings. Agricultural techniques that ended famine on entire planets. But perhaps most importantly, they had proven that there was a better way to organize galactic civilization. Commander Vex, now a military advisor to the Earth Alliance, stood beside Admiral Morrison as they watched the ceremony from the observation deck. "I still do not understand how you did it," Vex admitted. "Our forces were superior in every measurable way." Morrison smiled. "That was your mistake. You measured the wrong things. You looked at our weapons and our ships and our technology, but you never looked at our people." "What do you mean?" "Every human who fought in that war was fighting for something they believed in, their home, their family, their freedom. They were not following orders from some distant government. They were making their own choices about what was worth fighting for." Vex considered this. And that made them stronger? It made them unstoppable. When people fight for what they love, they don't just fight harder, they fight smarter. They innovate. They adapt. They find ways to win that no one else ever thought of. Below them, the ceremony continued as representatives from hundreds of worlds signed the Charter of the Free Galaxy, a document that established new rules for interstellar civilization based on cooperation, voluntary association, and shared progress. The age of galactic empires was over. The age of galactic cooperation had begun, and it had all started with humanity's simple refusal to surrender.